Two sorts of people you never want to spend time with: serial killers and women who spell thanks with an X.
What if the magic behind Jonathan Creek was never meant to last? When a small British mystery series burst onto screens in the 1990s, viewers expected clever twists and impossible crimes, but almost nobody predicted the strange turns waiting around the corner. At its heart was a quirky illusionist who seemed to unravel the darkest secrets with nothing but a keen mind and an outsider's charm. Over the years, though, whispers began, rumors of behind-the-scenes struggles, controversial cast changes, and plots that left fans stunned or divided. So, what really went wrong beneath all those clever tricks and locked-room mysteries? The truth just might be more astonishing than any illusion ever performed on screen. When Jonathan Creek first arrived on British television in 1997, it upended the expectations of the entire mystery genre with a concept that was equally quirky and ingenious. Jonathan Creek, played by Alan Davies, is not a police detective or a private eye. He is a designer of magic tricks for a flamboyant stage magician, using his deep knowledge of illusions to unravel bizarre crimes that everyone else finds impossible to solve. Unlike the formulaic whodunits of its era, Jonathan Creek placed its focus squarely on the how. Audiences were hooked by inventive stories brimming with locked rooms, vanishing suspects, and murder methods so outlandish they seemed supernatural, until Creek revealed the simple, logical secret behind the illusion. The very first episode, The Wrestler's Tomb, set the tone. What looked like an impossible murder was unraveled by lateral thinking and bait-and-switch explanations, not by violence or car chases, but by the art of the reveal. Central to the show's charm was the witty partnership between Jonathan Creek and Maddie Magellan, a brazen, resourceful journalist played by Caroline Quentin. Their relationship was loaded with sarcastic banter, awkward mutual respect, and occasional sparks, all of which made their teamwork uniquely entertaining. Critics quickly recognized the show's originality. Jonathan Creek won a BAFTA for Best Drama Series in 1998, hailed for clever writing and its ability to balance intrigue with sharp humor. The creative use of Britain's top comedic guest stars only amplified its oddball energy, making each case feel like an unpredictable adventure. Fans were captivated by the show's fresh approach and its hero, a thoughtful, sometimes socially awkward outsider whose mind was always one step ahead. In its early years, Jonathan Creek was not simply a crime series, it felt like a magic act in television form, delivering wonder, surprise, and a delightful dose of mystery with every episode. After 3 successful seasons, Jonathan Creek faced its first major shift when Caroline Quentin, who played the sharp-witted journalist Maddie Magellan, left the show in 2001. Quentin's departure marked a turning point. Her character's fearless, sarcastic presence had created a crucial balance to Jonathan's introverted and methodical nature. Fans widely felt that the magic between Jonathan and Maddie was the heart of the show, injecting not only wit, but emotional depth and a dynamic that made even the strangest mysteries feel grounded. The series introduced new collaborators to fill the gap. Julia Sawalha came in as Carla Borrego, a theatrical agent turned TV presenter, attempting to bring fresh energy. However, many viewers found Carla's character less compelling and often irritating compared to the beloved Maddie, which shifted the tone and feel of the episodes. This shift led Jonathan Creek from a tight crime-solving duo to more of a one-man show aided by side characters, which diluted the original chemistry that had anchored the series. Ratings began to show signs of strain, and fan forums grew vocal with disappointment. Criticism focused on the loss of the natural banter and sharp repartee between Jonathan and Maddie, which had been central to diving into complex puzzles without feeling dry or monotonous. The show struggled to maintain its unique personality, and while new supporting characters appeared in later specials and series, such as Sheridan Smith's online paranormal investigator Joey Ross and Sarah Alexander's role as Jonathan's wife Polly, none recaptured the impactful chemistry of those early seasons. This period of adjustment revealed a vulnerability in Jonathan Creek's formula. The character interplay was just as essential as the mysteries themselves. As the cast evolved, so did the audience's connection, and the once electrifying energy slowly dissipated. The handsome balance of humor and heart that made the show a critical darling was noticeably shaky after Quentin left, setting the stage for the challenges ahead. As Jonathan Creek progressed into later series, a noticeable shift began to take hold, a movement away from the clear, curious mysteries that had once captivated viewers towards far darker and more surreal storylines. What had started as captivating puzzles grounded in logic and magic gradually morphed into convoluted plots entangled with gothic and supernatural elements. The tone darkened, and episodes increasingly ventured into bizarre territory that left even loyal fans scratching their heads. Gone were the deceptively simple, solvable crimes, replaced by dense narratives that felt less like mysteries and more like psychological thrillers or fantasy dramas. This tonal evolution did not sit well with all audiences. Critics pointed out that the show seemed lost amid its own ambition, stretching the limits of plausibility and narrative coherence. Fans grew frustrated as the cleverness of Jonathan's deductions was overshadowed by implausible twists and unexplained phenomena. These changes diluted the original charm that balanced cerebral storytelling with accessible entertainment. Instead of inviting viewers to piece together the puzzle alongside Jonathan, the show often screamed at them to accept strange plot turns without explanation. Perhaps most notably, the one-off specials like The Ghost in the Machine and Demon's Roost took the series into remote, atmospheric settings and eerie, sometimes macabre stories. While praised for mood, these episodes were criticized for sidelining the intellectual puzzle-solving in favor of gloom and complex backstories too obscure to follow easily. The infamous Demon's Roost especially marked a point where many fans felt the show had lost its way, ending on a divisive note that left important plot threads unresolved and characters acting inconsistently. This slide into madness was a key factor in alienating Jonathan Creek's once passionate audience. The show had promised clever illusions and surprising but logical conclusions. When it replaced those essentials with dark, impenetrable story arcs and blurred the lines between mystery and supernatural, many longtime viewers simply tuned out. The loss of focus was not just about narrative complexity. It was the loss of what made Jonathan Creek uniquely captivating: the artful dance between reason and magic. That delicate balance had been tipped, and the consequences were palpable. After Jonathan Creek's initial successful run and a few seasons marked by decline, the series entered a prolonged phase of irregular appearances and lengthy hiatuses that saw its presence on television greatly diminished. The original run may have concluded in 2004, but loyal fans had to patiently await any new material, holding on to their enthusiasm through reruns and a handful of special episodes designed to recapture the show's original magic and charm. These specials were released sporadically over an 11-year stretch from 2005 through 2016, and were always greeted with a blend of excitement and healthy skepticism. Each new episode carried the weight of expectation that the beloved series might finally regain its footing and brilliance. However, the specials faced a daunting challenge. They needed to appeal both to devoted longtime fans craving nostalgia and to newer audiences whose tastes and expectations had evolved significantly since Jonathan Creek's original debut. Sadly, this balancing act frequently faltered. Some of the specials gave the impression of recycling well-worn plot devices and character dynamics, causing them to feel predictable and lacking in innovation. Others attempted bold new narrative experiments, but these departures into less familiar territory often left fans confused or disconnected rather than intrigued. As a result, the uneven quality of these comeback efforts made it difficult for the series to re-establish the unique atmosphere and storytelling dynamics that had initially set it apart. Critics were quick to note the inconsistency, with many specials praised in parts, but criticized overall for failing to capture the spark of the original. Behind the scenes, the inconsistent output seemed to stem from more than just creative choices. Budget constraints were rumored to have tightened significantly, which in turn restricted the scale and ambition of the stories that could be told. This financial pressure reportedly limited location choices, special effects, and other production values essential to the series' distinct style. There were also whispers of creative disagreements between the production team and the BBC, as well as scheduling conflicts that delayed filming and disrupted continuity. Moreover, an air of uncertainty about the future direction of Jonathan Creek may have compounded these difficulties. Fans, aware of these struggles through leaks and rumors, grew increasingly frustrated, feeling that such an iconic series deserved more respectful stewardship and a dedicated, cohesive vision, rather than sporadic, sometimes lackluster special episodes. Despite these many hurdles, the specials did maintain a small but dedicated following, eager for any glimpse of the original magic. These return episodes offered reminders of Jonathan Creek's unique blend of mystery, wit, and puzzling intrigue. Yet they also served as painful proof of how challenging it had become to recapture the rare balance of cleverness, humor, and charm that had defined the show's early years. These awkward comebacks stand as a testament both to the hope of loyal fans and to the sadness of what Jonathan Creek lost in those years: creative stability, a clear guiding vision, and the quietly brilliant chemistry among its characters that once made it unforgettable. Behind the scenes of Jonathan Creek, the magic was not always so effortless. As the show progressed, production faced increasing challenges that went well beyond the script. Reports emerged of squeezed budgets that limited everything from special effects to location choices, forcing the creative team to scale back ambitions despite their desire to push the show's boundaries. Lower funds meant fewer filming days, compressed shooting schedules, and a growing strain on all departments involved. The network's shifting priorities often left the show in limbo, with delayed scripts and uncertain renewal decisions casting a shadow over production morale. These financial and logistical hurdles created a ripple effect through the creative process. Writers struggled to maintain the quality and freshness that early seasons had set, finding themselves bound to restrictions that stifled innovation. The pressure to produce compelling content on tight deadlines sometimes resulted in rushed storylines and less polished episodes. Cast members, too, expressed frustration in interviews, pointing to the impact of unstable schedules and budget cuts on their ability to fully develop their characters or bring their best performances. Alan Davies and other key players have spoken candidly about how these off-screen dramas chipped away at the show's original energy and focus. Network mismanagement added another layer of difficulty, with Jonathan Creek often caught in a tug-of-war between creative teams and executives unsure about the show's direction or longevity. Delays in approving scripts and episodes disrupted the production flow, causing further strain and intermittent hiatuses that disrupted audience engagement. This led to episodes feeling disconnected or out of sync with the overall narrative arc, frustrating both creators and fans. The combination of financial constraints and administrative hurdles created an environment far removed from the smooth-running machine that had launched the show's early success. Ultimately, these behind-the-curtain struggles reveal why Jonathan Creek's later seasons struggled to live up to the promise of its beginnings. In a business where creativity and resources must align, the show's diminishing budgets and constant production challenges eroded not just its quality, but the confidence of everyone involved. The magic, it seems, was as elusive behind the scenes as some of the mysteries Jonathan Creek sought to solve on screen. As Jonathan Creek moved further away from its roots, the character who had once been the show's heart began to shift in unsettling ways. Jonathan started as a quirky, socially awkward outsider whose intellect and charm won audiences over. Over time, however, his role morphed into something more reluctant and subdued. By the later specials and series, Jonathan was often overshadowed by his wife Polly, played by Sarah Alexander, whose confident, pragmatic personality took center stage. This inversion unsettled fans who had connected with Jonathan's unique voice and approach to solving puzzles. The show's focus on Jonathan's internal conflicts and diminished role in the action frustrated viewers expecting the sharp detective and witty banter that had defined the series. The narrative choices accompanying this transformation did little to help. Storylines increasingly revolved around Polly's career in PR and her interactions with Jonathan, shifting away from the intricate mysteries that had originally drawn fans in. This rebalancing of character time and focus left many feeling that the show had lost its core identity. Rather than slyly dissecting impossible crimes with humor and intelligence, Jonathan Creek's later arcs felt bogged down by domestic drama and slower pacing. The tight, fast-moving storytelling gave way to often meandering episodes that struggled to maintain engagement. Perhaps the most controversial moment came with the episode Demon's Roost, which polarized fans and critics alike. The story's heavy atmosphere and unresolved plot threads signaled a departure from the clear-cut resolutions audiences had come to expect. Some saw it as a bold, artistic choice, while others viewed it as a disservice to the story and characters, pointing out that Jonathan's behavior and decisions in this episode felt inconsistent and uncharacteristic. This episode became a symbol of the show's lost direction and the alienation felt by many longtime viewers. In these final stages, Jonathan Creek's trademark blend of humor, mystery, and charm diluted into something more uneven and less satisfying. The beloved central character, once a beacon of cleverness and eccentricity, was overshadowed not only by new narrative priorities, but also by a sense that the show had strayed from what made it special. This transformation, combined with the divisive creative choices, played a significant role in the series' struggle to regain its former glory and remain relevant to its original fan base. As Jonathan Creek's quality waned and creative missteps accumulated, its dedicated fan base grew increasingly vocal and divided. Online forums, social media groups, and fan sites evolved into heated battlegrounds where passionate debates erupted about what went wrong and if the series could ever find its way back. Many fans voiced deep disappointment at the loss of the show's original wit, charm, and clever puzzle solving. They pointed fingers at a range of causes, from misguided creative decisions, like stripping away Jonathan's quirky traits and sidelining the magic element, to perceived network meddling that disrupted the show's unique tone. The backlash was amplified by dangling storylines left unresolved in later episodes and controversial character shifts, especially the strained dynamic between Jonathan and his wife Polly, which many found alienating and out of character. Off-screen, speculation and rumors about the series' decline only intensified. Insiders hinted at creative disagreements between the production team and the BBC, with clashing visions over whether to modernize or preserve the show's formula. Some suggested that key writers and creative talents had grown tired or moved on, leaving a void difficult to refill. Fans suspected budget cuts and scheduling conflicts had further hindered the show's ability to reclaim its former greatness. Though these rumors were never fully confirmed, they created an aura of mystery around the true reasons behind Jonathan Creek's uneven trajectory and inconsistent quality. Jonathan Creek's legacy remains a hotly contested topic. Some argue that the show's early brilliance secures its place as a cornerstone of British mystery television, a rare blend of humor, mystery, and charm that inspired many successors. Others lament how its later years tarnished what could have been a timeless classic, viewing it as a cautionary tale about how even the most inventive series can falter when core ingredients like cast chemistry, consistent storytelling, and creative freedom are compromised. Nonetheless, the affection from devoted fans endures, and Jonathan Creek's influence lives on as an inspiration for mystery dramas that seek to entwine humor, magic, and intricate intrigue. This ongoing debate keeps Jonathan Creek alive in public discussion, ensuring that even years after its final episode aired, viewers remain captivated by questions about what really went wrong. The series continues to spark conversation, curiosity, and a lingering fascination with a show that once held such promise and affection, underscoring that despite its flaws, Jonathan Creek still commands a special place in television history. Jonathan Creek's legacy today is a complex tapestry of brilliance and missed opportunities. Despite spawning multiple seasons, specials, and a devoted cult following, the series' potential was curtailed by inconsistent storytelling, cast upheaval, and behind-the-scenes struggles. What was once a refreshing reinvention of mystery drama ended with unresolved plotlines and creative directions that left many questions hanging. The show's final episode in 2016, Demon's Roost, underscored this uncertainty with a polarizing storyline that left fans divided and hungry for more clarity. While there has been no official cancellation, Jonathan Creek has remained on an extended hiatus. Alan Davies, the titular star, has expressed willingness to return if the right script were written, and creator David Renwick has hinted that Demon's Roost might be the show's final chapter. Outside of television, stage adaptations have been proposed, and other cast members have shown interest in reprising roles, suggesting the story could find life beyond the screen. Nevertheless, the future of Jonathan Creek is uncertain, caught between fan hope and the reality of a television landscape transformed since the show's heyday. So, where does that leave us? Is there room for Jonathan Creek to rise again, perhaps reinvented or restored to its former clever glory? Or is its legacy best preserved as a unique, if imperfect, chapter in British TV history? One defined by inspiring mysteries, memorable characters, and the all-too-human struggles behind the scenes. The questions linger, inviting all fans and newcomers to ponder what the future might hold for this enigmatic series. If this video sparked your interest in Jonathan Creek, or if you have your own thoughts on what really went wrong, please like, comment below with your opinions, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite shows and stories. Your support helps us keep uncovering these hidden truths and keeps the conversation alive.